Long Island Boat and Fishing Show is back at the Nassau Coliseum, March 13th through 15th. Long Island's top dealers will be there with huge savings on boats, tackle, personal watercraft, and the latest electronics. This show has it all. Children will be entertained by Twiggy, the water skiing squirrel. Enjoy free face painting. Plus, on Saturday and Sunday, the first 100 kids get a free life vest, free parking all weekend, and Friday it's free Heroes Day admission for military and first responders. 3 days only, March 13th through 15th. Visit nyboatshows.com for details.
This episode is brought to you by Cologuard. Do you know what's really scary? Not screening for colon cancer when you turn 45. The Cologuard test is non-invasive, requires no special prep or time off work, and ships right to your door. In just 3 simple steps, Cologuard takes the scare out of colon cancer screening. If you're 45 or older and at average risk, ask your healthcare provider about the Cologuard test. Cologuard is available by prescription only. Learn more or request a prescription today at Cologuard.com/screen.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And I think it's important, Laura, to put this in context. The Democrats let in 15 million people into this country, including tens of thousands of murderers, hundreds of thousands of violent criminals and terrorists. And now what they're doing is defunding the Department of Homeland Security amongst sleeper cells that we know of and terrorist attacks. I mean, this is insanity at the highest level. They simply just care more about defunding ICE than they do about anything else because they want open borders, they want mass amnesty, and they think they can get it if we don't actually enforce our immigration laws. And so Republicans should hold firm here. We voted to fund all of it. We voted to fund TSA, Coast Guard, Secret Service, all the other agencies wrapped up in this, but the Democrats have voted no because of Trump derangement syndrome and their obsession with open borders and mass migration.
Welcome, my friends, to the Friday edition of both Snerdley's Rush Hour Fastest Hour in American Media. That was Senator Eric Schmidt of Missouri, and he is telling the truth. Democrats the last 24 hours have been flooding social media with posts about how supposedly Republicans are blocking their attempts to fund the Homeland, DHS, Department of Homeland Security. It's a bunch of crap. What they're doing is offering one-offs on little bills, but it's a political game is the best way that I can explain it. They're the ones who shut down the government. They want to keep it shut down until Homeland Security. By the way, if you're in Austin and you're waiting in that line that this morning stretched out from the airport deep into the parking lots, from the airport into the outside, the line was stretched. If you look out of the airport, you look way down yonder, like they like to say down there in Texas, way down yonder there. You go way down yonder there, people standing there in line some people just looked at the line and said, forget it, I'm not going to make my flight. Not going to do it. It's not going to happen. That's how deep the lines are. Now, Austin, Texas, as you may know, is the little part of Texas that resembles California. Austin is where all they got that South by Southwest by whatever it is, concerts down there and spring break and all the liberal hippies and everything in Texas hang out there. Yeah, there are liberals everywhere. I don't want to call them insects. I don't want to make an insect reference. You know, like when you turn on the lights and certain insects scatter all over the place. If you've ever been in that situation. I haven't. My first apartment, and it wasn't my fault because I kept it my neighbors. But you know, when you live in an apartment building and you have neighbors that, anyway, I'm getting way off course here. But, Democrats are responsible for all of this. I shouldn't even be laughing because today I have to get into some things that I don't want to get into. And I usually see this stuff and go past it. I can go past it no longer. I can't. We had terrorist attacks in this country, and it is blowing my mind. We have learned, as many of you know, that the attack that took place at Old Dominion, Virginia, the alleged perpetrator of that attack had been jailed before for supporting ISIS. A judge released him. He's a naturalized citizen. The judge released him. He got his second chance. We didn't deport him. We didn't say, you supported ISIS? Goodbye. See ya. Hasta la vista, baby. None of that. Oh, some nice-hearted liberal judge says, okay, you support a terrorist group. We'll give you a second chance. You get a get-out-of-jail card. And he got his second chance, and he murdered an instructor at Old Dominion. Now, the instructor happened to be a black guy, so you're not going to see his face plastered all over certain liberal networks because you have to go online to usually find this stuff. And the students there took the perpetrator out. One student is said to have stabbed him. In Michigan, the man suspected of ramming a car into a Michigan synagogue had family members who were killed in an Israeli attack on Lebanon this month. The crash, which started a fire at the Temple Israel in West Bloomfield, Michigan, is being investigated as a targeted attack. The Department of Homeland Security, working without pay, many people there, I don't know whether the people that are working here are among them, identified the perpetrator as Aman Mohammed Ghazali, 41. He came to the United States in 2011 as the spouse of a U.S. citizen, was granted citizenship in 2016. And he is the one that is suspected. He drove into a hallway after ramming into the building. The temple security engaged him. Responding officers went in wearing gas masks. 30 officers treated for smoke inhalation. That investigation is still ongoing. The words Dearborn Heights came up, which is Dearborn. I want to play you something. I want to play you a few things, ladies and gentlemen. And this I have trepidations about. I'm going to just say it openly because I am very conscious about not smearing people, and I am not one of these people who goes on and on and on about Islam this and Islam that. I have friends, lifelong friends that are Muslims. Okay? I've been in their house. It's not even beyond that. They're like family, and they're beautiful people and wonderful people. And most people that practice Islam around the world, most people that practice Islam are peaceful people, the overwhelming majority. Now you have these jihadists, the terrorists, and the like. They are not the majority of people that practice Islam. That said, the people that are involved in the terrorist wing need to be dealt with, period. Dearborn, Michigan has been a hot spot. This happened in Michigan. And you see Rashida Tlaib, there was I don't know whether I put this in there today. Rashida Tlaib was a Fox News reporter, tried to question her, and she just went off on the Fox News reporter. Maybe if I don't have it today, I'll try to find it for tomorrow. First, let's turn to Gretchen Whitmer, the governor, and then I want to play you some things that are out of Dearborn, fresh out of Dearborn. So, first, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, cut 16. Jonas, and here she is.
And I want Michigan's Jewish community to know that we are with you. Violence in our houses of worship and in our schools and in our daycare centers, like this hits especially hard. Temple Israel is a pillar of the community. It's one of the largest Reformed Jewish congregations in North America, with Friday night Shabbat services attracting over 1,000 people. People celebrate bar and bat mitzvahs, weddings, and holidays here. Parents bring their children to daycare and school, and it's a place of peace, unity, light, and life. Yesterday's attack was anti-Semitism. It was hate, plain and simple. We will fight this ancient and rampant evil. We will stand together as we do it, and we will call it out. We must lower the rhetoric in this state and in this country, especially at this moment where we've seen such a rise in anti-Semitism and more attacks on the Jewish community. We must keep each other close. This community is on the edge, very understandably.
Okay. Thank you. That's Governor. Now, she says let's lower the rhetoric. Let's pick up with cut 21. And this took place in recent days in Dearborn, Michigan, the United States of America.
Not a great look. The mayor condemned it. The White House condemned it. But what about Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib? She reps Dearborn. Is she okay with her constituents chanting death to America? Fox Business correspondent Hillary Vaughn asked her. Watch.
Congresswoman Tlaib.
Fox News. I don't talk to Fox News.
At a rally in your district, people were chanting death to America. Do you condemn?
I do not talk to Fox News.
But do you condemn chants of death to America?
I don't talk to people that use racist tropes.
Why can't you just say whether or not you condemn people chanting death to America? Why are you afraid to talk to Fox?
Fox News is not listen, using racist tropes towards my community is what Fox News is about, and I don't talk to Fox News.
Is death to America racist?
Fox News.
Is chanting death to America racist?
I'm talking about your guys' racist tropes. You know, you guys know exactly what you do. And I know you're Islamophobic, but you guys got to go deal with it on your own self. You're not going to use me.
Okay, you're Islamophobic because you're asked about your constituents in Dearborn, Michigan, United States of America, chanting death to America. Let us turn to Memory TV. What is Memory TV? The Middle East Media Research Institute is a nonprofit, it's an American company, nonprofit press monitoring organization. They track, they translate Arabic and Muslim media. And so this is where we get the next piece of media. This is in Dearborn at a meeting, cut number 17. One of the lead speakers at the meeting in Dearborn, Michigan, where Rashida Tlaib represents, just said that she's not going to talk to Fox after residents in her community were chanting death to America. Go.
The message for the people of Gaza is going to be more of the message that should be sent to the people here, in that they have achieved victory. We haven't done anywhere near enough. And the people here, I promise you, we do feel ashamed. We do feel like we're not doing enough. We do feel like change needs to come, because change must come. And in the form that it must come is that this empire, the American empire that's been hurting our people since the beginning, the imperial Western powers that have been hurting our people since the beginning, they must fall. And inshallah they will fall. And my message to the people of Gaza and the oppressed peoples across the world is that there are people here, both young and old, who are going to be willing to fight and are willing to put their lives and everything they can on the line to bring these empires down, because they must come down.
Dearborn, Michigan. Dearborn, Michigan, United States of America. We have more. James Golden, Snerdley.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. James Golden Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
All right, we got a short segment here, but I did want to play one more, folks. We were talking about Dearborn. I would like for you to listen to an exchange. It's very quick between the mayor of Dearborn, who was just mentioned, by the way, with Whitmer, and a resident of Dearborn, Michigan, who happens to be Christian. They were naming a road, a street, for a man in the community who was a known supporter of Hezbollah. And this man went to the town meeting to object. And the mayor, Abdullah Hamoud, has an exchange with him, cut 19. This is how this goes.
Hezbollah, bombed the embassy in Beirut, and including many Americans. So I just feel it's quite inappropriate.
You're an Islamophobe, and although you live here, I want you to know, as mayor, you're not welcome here. And the day you move out of the city will be the day that I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you moved out of the city, because you are not somebody who believes in coexistence.
So, you're naming a street after a Hezbollah supporter. The man brought up, hey, this organization killed American soldiers. I don't think it's appropriate that a street in our city. You're an Islamophobe. Yeah, you're a resident here. I can't wait till you move out. You're an Islam. Get out. We'll hold a parade for you when you leave. He's an American citizen, but he lives in Dearborn, Michigan. Dearborn. We have more from Dearborn, Michigan when we get back. Death to America chants and more. Don't go away.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The James Golden Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Okay, let us return to Dearborn. We've already heard Michigan, the terrorist attack. We heard so far on the program today, the governor of the state, Gretchen Whitmer. We need to tone down the rhetoric, she says. This was some of the rhetoric in Dearborn. You heard it earlier. And yes, cut 14. I'm sorry, 21. This was what we heard earlier.
الموت لأمريكا الموت لأمريكا الموت لأمريكا.
Not a great
That is
look.
Dearborn, the chants of death to America. This, ladies and gentlemen, this next that you will hear is rhetoric from an Islamic preacher in Dearborn. We join as he is giving inspiration to those assembled in the group that he is preaching in front of.
All this advancement in technology, yet they still haven't figured out that when you go to the bathroom, they're still wiping themselves with paper. All this advancement, think about how advanced they've become. They're trying to go to Mars. They're trying to take over Saturn. They're trying to do all this stuff. Their cars are trying to be self-driven. Yet when they go to do the most lowest form of human nature, the call of nature, they're still wiping themselves and cleaning themselves with paper. They're uncivilized. Do not be tricked and deceived by their technology. Do not be tricked and deceived by their philosophies and their westernizations and their ideas. At the end of the day, they are still backwards. Allah has sent us to these nations to civilize them. That's why Allah has sent us, to civilize these people. Yet the media makes us look like the barbaric ones. The reason they don't want you to be successful is because they're jealous of what you have. The Christians, jealous of what you have. Their nations, their religions are dying. So what they had to do, they had to change their religion. You don't believe me? We went to churches, and they're now having the LGBT flags over there. A'udhu billah. Imagine, your business, your religion is dying so much that the only thing that you could do is go and get some help from the LGBT. That's just the condition you've become in. Because their religion is dying. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent us into the nations to guide these people from the darkness into the light.
And to stop using toilet paper. Well, what are they? Don't ask me. I don't get into the bathroom habits of other people. Maybe they have a bidet. French technology, I don't think it came from, it doesn't matter. So the governor of Michigan is calling for you, ladies and gentlemen, or people to lower their rhetoric. Meanwhile, all of this that's happening in Dearborn is happening in Dearborn. And we have in Michigan terrorist attacks. We have terrorist attacks at Old Dominion. And the Department of Homeland Security is not being funded by Democrats. While all of this has happened, that came up in Michigan. Who else came to hog some camera time at this rally was one of the Sedition 6 members, Alyssa Slotkin, former CIA babe. And that's Cut 6 Jonas. And these were among her remarks at the rally where Gretchen was after the terrorist attack in Michigan.
Ton of DHS folks, the CBP, and so they are on the call and they are doing their jobs. Certainly, we need to fund the Department of Homeland Security, and we need, in my view, to cut away all the conversation on ICE, which is its own conversation, from all the core missions of the Department of Homeland Security. But they're essential. They're on the job. They're working today.
Guy, that seemed significant. Maybe a shift, stripping away the ICE conversation and funding the department.
Well, ICE is already funded for the next 3 years, so that conversation should have been stripped away already. For her to say that certainly we need to fund Homeland Security, I agree, but I'm not the one who voted to keep it closed yesterday, which is what she did. There was a vote on this yesterday, which finished, by the way, after the attack in Michigan, in her state. She reacted on social media to that terrorist attack in her state before the vote ended. That kept the Democrat filibuster alive, meaning that the DHS department remains closed. She made that choice to vote to maintain the shuttering, the temporary closing of our Homeland Security agency. And then she comes on the cameras today and says, oh, well, certainly we need to fund it. She had the chance to do so yesterday, and she chose not to. This was after, by the way, there were 47 Democrats in the Senate. 46 of them voted to maintain their filibuster to keep DHS closed. This is after 4 apparent jihadist attacks on the homeland in the last 2 weeks. 4 homeland attacks in 2 weeks, and nearly every single Democrat in the Senate voted to keep Homeland Security closed. It's astonishing.
One of those.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, astonishing. It's astonishing. Don't be astonished by anything the Democrats are doing. They're showing you who they are. Exactly. Some of them. Now, I don't know what they're going to do with old Jeh Johnson out there. I like the way he spells his name, J-E-H, like Jeh. I'm Jeh. Jeh Johnson was on Fox. First of all, he went into enemy territory, according to Rashida Tlaib, and he would have got a double dose because he's, they're racist, and, Jeh. He's kind of like a brother, Anyway. Jeh was on Fox News. For those of you that don't remember Jeh Johnson, he was Obama's Department of Homeland Security guy. He was in charge of Homeland Security. Yeah, that's right, under Obama. So they asked him, in the Ebonic language, they're trying to be inclusive in this day and age where we need more inclusivity. They asked him about the Department of Homeland Security. And Cut 7, this is what Jeh had to say about it.
The last couple of weeks alone, 2 just yesterday. Yep. We were talking about this earlier. Does it feel to you that, something has changed in these last couple of weeks? That, you can feel it. What is it?
It does. I believe we are in a heightened threat environment, most likely because of events in the Middle East. Iran is a state sponsor of terrorism. We can decapitate the leadership there, but that does not decapitate the ability to be a state sponsor of terrorists. It does not decapitate the ability to inspire acts of terrorism, including acts of terrorism here in the homeland. And so, bottom line to all of this, we need to fund, Congress needs to fund the department that exists to ensure Homeland Security.
But how do you think about cybersecurity issues? Because there's only so much the Department of Homeland could do.
Yeah. We need to fund it. But you're talking to Democrats who refuse to fund it. We do have some reports, ladies and gentlemen, about what's happening in the airports, but you already know that. I'll hold those until tomorrow when we can go in depth with it. There are some other things happening in the news that I would like to just briefly touch on, my friends, before time for us to flee for the afternoon. And here's one of them. Apparently, Cuba, home of great cigars back in the day, and 1950 vintage cars, which was still the primary source of them getting around on the roads, thanks to communism. Cuban president. Does anybody even know who this guy is? It's like you used to say Cuba, and you used to automatic Fidel, because, it's Fidel. And then Fidel lived for like 3 lifetimes. So everybody was like, what's going on with the... You remember when Americans... You may be too young for this. There was a day when American liberals used to run down to Cuba talking about, Cuba has the best health care. Cuba has great health care. They used to all, just like American liberals ran down and used to kiss the behind of Hugo Chavez, the other commie in the hemisphere, friends of Fidel. Sean Penn, all these liberals, all these guys, that guy that was in that black guy that was in that Die Hard, what was that movie thing with, come on, help me here. No, not Samuel Jackson. He was too smart to do that. The Glover guy. Him. Danny Glover. I keep getting him mixed up with the young Glover. The Gambino Glover guy.
Donald.
Who? Donald. Yeah, anyway. The old Glover guy. He ran down. He's another one. Used to run down there, kiss Hugo Chavez's toes or whatever it was. Maybe further up on the backside. We love you. We love you. All these Hollywood types used to run down there. That was back in the Bush days. Because they hated Bush. Hey, whoever it is, Hollywood hates Republicans. So whoever it is, they always seek out the enemy to try to friend up the enemy. Back then it was Hugo Chavez. So they ran there and kissed his socialist butt. And look what he did to his own people. Destroyed that country. They used to run down to Cuba and kiss old Fidel's butt. And Fidel did nothing but destroy Cuba. And they love Fidel. And Fidel was greatest health care in the world. Where do you get your health care? Well, I go to New York. I have to go to Cuba. But Cuba has the greatest. Where do you get yours? Well, I go down to L.A. Why aren't you going to Cuba? Well, it's for the people. Greatest health care for the people. So... the communist regime in Cuba, they have a president now. I don't even remember when this guy became president. And I pay attention to the news. I saw the guy's name, I'm saying, damn, when did he? His name is President Miguel Diaz-Canel. Have you ever heard of this guy before? President Canel? The last time I looked around, it was still a Castro brother. One of the also ran Castro brother that never used to get any light when Fidel was alive. He took over, Raul or somebody. And that was the last I heard of it. Now they got this president, Miguel Diaz-Canel. Nobody ever heard of the guy, but he announced anyway today that his government has been holding talks with the Trump administration. They're facing an existential crisis, you see, as he ratchets up the pressure on the 67-year-old communist state, maintaining what amounts to an oil blockade. Fuel is rapidly running out, plunging Cuba into prolonged periods of darkness. The darkness has spread. The darkness is taking over. The darkness in Cuba is growing. It's dark. I like how the media always calls everything. Like they used to do this when I was a kid. This is a long, long time ago. They used to call Africa regularly. When they say Africa, they say right after that, they say, Africa, the dark continent. They used to. Yeah, Jonas is laughing. I'm not kidding. That's what Africa, they used to, in the media, in white liberal media, that's what they used to call Africa all the time. Africa, the dark continent.
That's crazy.
The dark. Come on, some older people back me up on this. Okay? Because that is exactly the dark. And then when they talk about humor, notice when they say, when the humor turns a certain way, what do they call it? It's dark humor. Very dark.
It's time to go to break.
That's a white lie.
Thanks for listening to The James Golden Show. You can hear The James Golden Show Saturday mornings at 7. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?